So payback is kind of a popular method to use for smaller businesses because it tells them how long it will be before they get their money back. And cash flow is so important for a smaller business that a lot of times that's a good decision criteria for them. It can also be used as a screener for other large projects just to see how long it's going to take. But it's got some drawbacks as well. And I'll talk about those here in a minute. But let's look at how we calculate it. What we do is we start with the cash flows, and they're right here. So negative 3,000, followed by an influx of 1,500, 1,200, 800, and 300. So what we do is we do an accumulated payback. So where are we at on the cash? So of course in year 0, you simply have negative 3,000. You haven't recovered any money. And then in year 1, what you're doing is you're adding the positive 1,500 to the negative 3,000, and you're still at negative 1,500, so you have not achieved payback yet. And then the second year you add another 1,200, so you take the 1,500, take away the 1,200, and you're only short 300. And so this next year you would get 800, which is more than what you need. So this becomes 2 years plus part of year 3. So we have 2 plus, how much else do we need? And what we need is 300 out of $800. So we create a formula 2 plus 300 over 800, and it tells us that it will take 2.375 years to achieve our payback. So let's do it on Project L here. So we have our accumulated payback. So in year 0, you're still at negative 3,000. You haven't brought any money back in. In year 1, you're adding $500, so you're reducing the amount to pay back to $2,600. And then the next year, you're adding 900 to the negative 2,600, and you're at negative 1,700. So we're looking, and we're still not going to be paid back, so we go another year. 1,300 plus the negative 1,700, so we only need 400 more. So this is 3 years now would be the number of years overall, and then we need part of year 4. So our formula is going to look like 3 plus 400 over 1,500, and so our payback equals 3 plus 400 divided by the 1,500, 3.267 years for payback. And so generally a company is going to establish the number of years that they need the money paid back. So for instance, if this company said they need their money paid back by 3 years, then Project S is acceptable, but Project L would not be acceptable because it takes too long to get the money back more than 3 years. If we were just comparing two companies, we would still go with Project S because it gets payback quicker. Some of the problems with payback are it doesn't really care how the money flows. So in this case, this is clearly the better project because you're getting so much of your money up front. You have all but $300 at the end of year 2. If this project, let's just say, let's say we only ended up with 500 in year 2, but we ended up with 3,000 in year 3. Actually, let's make it 5,000. Make it a lot of money. So now we're getting our money back in 2 years instead of 3. So our ratio would be equals 2 plus, we only needed 2,100 of 5,000. So we're fairly close to being the same now, even though they're really not the same, because we had lots of money returning early in the project on this one and very little money coming in on this project, except we got this big boost coming in year 3. So one of the problems is it doesn't pay attention to the pattern of the cash flows, which is, it's the same thing as saying that it does not account for the time value of money. The other thing, let's go back to where we were originally with this. And say that This project is better. This project is better. It takes less time to pay back, so we're going to go with project S because of this number. But let's say here what it has is $10,000. It's not going to make any difference if this project is got this big lump of money that's coming in year 4, because it's after the payback period. So the second thing it does is it ignores any cash flows that come back after payback. So those are two big limitations.